Hello and welcome to our special show, Coronavirus Facts versus Myths. I'm Gargi Rawat. Stay with us as we get you all you need to know on the pandemic. We'll also bust all that fake news that's out there. Let's take a look at the top stories we're tracking on the show today. Now, for the first time since July end, India has reported daily cases under 50,000. 46,790 fresh coronavirus cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. And global coronavirus cases, meanwhile, have crossed the 40 million mark. Over 1.1 million people have died of the virus worldwide. Well, let's take a look at those India numbers. So that's some great news coming in as far as India is concerned. Remember, we've seen a downward trajectory over the last couple of days and weeks. So India reported 46,790 fresh coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours. This is the first time since July end that the country has reported less than 50,000 new COVID cases in a day. In the 24-hour period, India, which is the second worst hit country, reported 587 deaths, taking the total number of fatalities to 1,15,197. Total COVID cases in the country now top 7.5. Well, there you can see the total number, 1,97,063 cases of coronavirus in the country, though the active cases are below 8 lakhs. So there you can see after a long time, as we said, nearly 3 months that we've reported under 50,000 COVID cases in a single day. So there you can see the graph. Now, remember, this is the graph of the COVID cases per day, and in September we peaked. At least that was the first peak. As you can see there, when we were reporting nearly 1 lakh cases, over 90,000 cases every single day, and over the last couple of weeks we've seen the trajectory going downward. So this is very, very welcome news, but of course all doctors are cautioning this does not mean you let your foot off the pedal or any sort of relaxations. We have to be even more careful now because we're moving in to the winter season, we're moving into the festive season, we're also moving into the pollution season in North India, and that remains a big worry as far as COVID cases go. And if we talk globally, well, coronavirus cases have crossed the 40 million mark. Over 1.1 million people have died of the virus worldwide. Countries are struggling to tackle the pandemic, with Wales ordering a 2-week shutdown. Belgium is warning of a virus tsunami. And Poland has turned a national stadium into a field hospital. United Kingdom has also announced a series of restrictions as well. And experts say that the new grim milestone in global cases is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the true impact of the pandemic that has upended life and work around the world. In just the last 7 days, however, more than 2.5 million cases have been reported. That's the highest weekly number of COVID cases since the virus emerged in China late last year. Now, if we talk about India, the big development has been that schools opened yesterday, that schools outside of containment zones reopened in UP, in Punjab and Sikkim, with, of course, strict COVID norms in place. Earlier, the Home Ministry had released detailed guidelines for the reopening of schools and colleges in the country in a graded manner, starting from the 15th of October. Only students of classes 9 to 12 are allowed back to school. They have to get permission from their parents. Classes will be held in shifts. All necessary protocols, including social distancing and proper sanitization of the premises, will have to be followed. Now, many other states, as we said, in Punjab, UP and Sikkim, schools opened yesterday, but many other states, including Delhi, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, have decided not to reopen schools in view of the pandemic just yet. So let's take a look. Let's now go across to our guests for more on this issue of reopening schools. We're joined by Dr. Ruchi Seth, Principal, Lotus Valley International. Thank you so much for being with us. Also, Dr. Bela Sharma, Additional Director, Internal Medicine, Fortis Memorial Research Institute in Gurgaon. First to you, ma'am, Dr. Ruchi Seth, if you could, it's very challenging, isn't it, to reopen schools at a time. We also have examples from across the world of cases spiking when schools were reopened. What is your view of this?
So thank you for having me on this show. It's always a pleasure to be with NDTV. Indeed, it is challenging, and we do have apprehensions, both from our side as well as the parent side. But I think we are bracing ourselves for it. We are sure that we're going to do our best to ensure that every child is safe. All the SOPs and protocols of safety will be put into place, undoubtedly. And if we open in a calibrated manner, and we ensure that learning and schooling is need-based, and in the beginning only for a short period, maybe in a phased manner, then I'm sure we'll be able to make a success of it. And I think here all the stakeholders, the parents have to be ready, the teachers have to be ready, and the students have to be ready. And I think we are getting there very quickly. Some of the schools in Noida have already opened and UP have already opened. Some of them are getting there as we feel that parental readiness is getting better and better. So the dialogue with parents will continue till such time that schools reopen. We will have a completely open system of communication so that parents are at rest as to the measures that we are taking, and we will involve them as well as some of the senior students in our safety protocols, making sure that every step is taken that should be taken, so that there is a sense of
Right, ma'am, if you could share with us, some of the responses you've got from the parents. What are their concerns? What about the students? What are their concerns? Do they want to come back to school just yet? These are senior students. They're heading in for major exams as well. So what has the response been?
I think the senior students are keen to come back. Parents are a little apprehensive. So we did a survey and we found that right now only 7 to 8% of parents are ready. But I think what will happen is when more and more schools open and we are able to make a success of it, it depends a lot on how we manage our schools. So if we are able to make a success of it, I think the comfort level will go up. Children are more than ready to come to school. They want to be with their friends. They want to be with their teachers. They want their school life back. Because I think that sense of routine and predictability and that gives them a sense of security, a sense of safety, a sense of normalcy. So they want that back. And of course, teenagers want to be with their friends. Our biggest challenge, of course, is going to be to make sure that teenagers, as they will tend to gravitate towards each other, and how to keep them to maintain social distancing.
That will all have to be monitored very closely. It will all have to be monitored very closely. I can imagine the senior students, I feel bad for them because, the senior year of your school life is one of the best years of your entire school life. So it's sad that they have to be at home. But Dr. Sharma, your view on this, it'll have to be very, very closely monitored now that we're opening schools about cases there, because you have staff, you have teachers, you have students mingling with one another and then going home and mingling with grandparents.
Absolutely. Children as such, what we have seen so far have not been so badly affected. But of course, they are careers. So our main concern is that children may get the infection from school, whether from their friends or their colleagues or other members, and then carry it back home where they can infect their elders, like we said, grandparents. Grandparents are most at risk, and when everybody is inside, of course, the risk is minimized. But when even one person is going out, then it becomes the risk becomes very high. So again, the children have to be explained. Children have to understand the responsibility that they are carrying. It is not only themselves, they are putting everybody at home, people they love the most, they are putting them at risk if they are not careful. So one thing is mask is mandatory.
Right.
Mask has to be worn for protection rather than a fashion statement. It is not a necklace to be worn around your neck. It is not a earpiece ki kaan se aise karke you just pull it down. It has to cover everything. When you reach home, wash your hands, shower, take a shower, put your clothes outside, only then you meet. Even in school.
And in the schools, once it begins, of course, the protocols are all there, but should there be constant testing as well, like rapid antigen testing, just to keep checking among the school, among the teachers, staff, students, etc., that if there's any case of COVID, like how can schools manage that?
Yeah, see, regular testing on asymptomatic people is not a very practical thing.
Sure.
One is, of course, the resources that we have, and second is, of course, the amount of time it will take for every student, for so many students. So, if we maintain our personal hygiene, if we maintain distance, then all this is not required. But of course, if there is one person who has tested positive, whether it is a teacher or a student, then all the contacts need to be traced and they will need to be tested, whether at school or at home.
All right. So a very, everyone will have to be very careful, very alert once the schools have reopened in Punjab and UP. As we said, they have reopened, and going forward, perhaps seeing their example, more and more schools, more and more states could decide to reopen schools. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us, and thank you so much, Dr. Ruchi Seth, for talking about, the concerns of the parents, students, as well as the teachers.
Thank you so much.